You have been paying employees since March 12th of 2020 all the way up until January 1st of 2022, then you are eligible for this opportunity. If you have been paying employees since March 12th of 2020 all the way up until January 1st of 2022, you are eligible for up to $26,000 per employee that you gained on within that 2 years, no matter if they stuck with you or not. Understood? Okay. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Superior Shelby. Welcome to my channel. And in this episode, we are actually going to talk about ERC. That's right. You can get $26,000 per employee if you were affected by COVID-19, which is all of us. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you what ERC is, how you can qualify, how to actually apply for the opportunity, or who to reach out to get this $26,000 per employee. And I'm hoping that I bring clarity to you, and also stick to the end, because obviously I'm going to give you a free grant list and a grant that you can actually apply for today. All right. So make sure you share this video, like, and subscribe. Let's get to it. All right, you guys, I've relocated us over here. All right, so let's talk about ERC. All right, ERC, the Employee Retention Credit. First off, I know that it's a lot of wind blowing right now. All right, so give me 1 second. Let me just turn it on. Now we're back. Employee retention credit. So if you are a small business owner and you were affected by 2020's pandemic, okay, then you can actually get $26,000 per employee that you actually had. Now, I don't want y'all to get this confused with the actual grant opportunity. This is not a grant. And I've been seeing some of my peers and constituents saying that the ERC is a grant. No, it's not a grant. It is a tax credit for your small business. So we're going to go directly to the IRS.gov website, and we are going to clarify things so you can have clear understanding whether or not you are qualified for this opportunity, or how you can qualify for this opportunity in the near future. All right. So just want to let you guys know that the ERC has literally been around since whenever, you feel me? So the employee retention tax credit is not something that's just new and that just came about. No, this is just the most we've actually been able to receive in tax credit, considering the circumstances of the pandemic. Now, as we go to irs.gov, and you can click the link down below so that way you can follow along. Now, the Employee Retention Credit, ERC, all right, sometimes called the Employee Retention Credit, or ERTC, you might have heard it in that term, is a refundable tax credit for businesses and tax-exempt organizations that had employees and were affected during the COVID-19 pandemic. The requirements are different depending on the time period for which you claim the credit. The ERC is not available to individuals. I repeat, it's not available to individuals. So if you are a sole proprietor, no, this is not for you, okay? If you are just an individual and you did not have your business structured, okay, this is not for you. And we'll talk about, stick to the end of the video, because we'll talk about how you need to have your business structured so you can take on opportunities like this, okay? So let's keep going. Now, what I noticed that is different from my old videos, and if you've been subscribed to me for a while, this is probably like my 4th or 5th time talking about the ERC tax credit. Now, as you watch all of my videos, you'll be able to tell that everything that I say is a little bit different. And the reason why, and I'm getting it directly from the site, right? The reason why is because they're literally changing things as we go. As we continue on in this digital world, they got to keep doing things differently, okay? So what I noticed that's different from the website from when I first started talking about ERC, even last year versus now, is that they have a whole entire paragraph specifically on ERC scams. Let's dive a little bit deeper. It says employers should be wary of ERC advertisements that advise them to apply for money by claiming the ERC when they may not qualify. Anyone who improperly claims the credit has to pay it back and may owe penalties and interest. The only way to claim the ERC is on federal employment tax returns. The ads are all over radio, TV, and social media. You may even get ads that look like official government letters or text, emails, phone calls, and advertising ERC eligibility. All right, so they give you a whole list of warning signs to what you should look out for. Now, what I'm saying, just to piggyback off of what the IRS is saying. Like I stated earlier in this call, that's how many like consultations I do, y'all. Make sure you book a consultation with me if you're serious about moving forward in your business. Text hashtag business to 305-686-0781 is down below or somewhere on the screen. So anyway, moving forward, just to piggyback off of that, so there has been like people, like I said, that say that the ERC is a grant. Also, you got some tax preparers out here that literally they specialize in individual taxes, like only working W-2 employees, only earned income taxes versus business taxes. Go with a CPA, a certified public accountant. Go with a tax preparer who is specialized and who has at least 5 years or more of experience in business taxes. This is how you're going to be able to leverage this opportunity. If you go with your usual tax preparer that files your taxes from your W-2s or from your earned income, they may not be hip to how to actually file this tax credit to make sure, one, you don't have an audit, and two, to make sure you get the max in what you are deserving of. All right, so they give you all the warning signs. All right, so let's actually go straight into it, the eligibility highlights. Okay, so it says, the credit is available to eligible employers that pay qualified wages to some or all employees after March 12, 2020 and before January 1st, 2022. Eligibility and credit amount vary depending on when the business impacts occurred. The ERC is not available to individuals. Okay, so I'm going to say this again because maybe I read that a little bit too fast for y'all. All right, so I'm going to slow this down. It says the credit is available to eligible employers. All right, so if you are a business and you have hired freelancers from Fiverr, if you have hired VAs, right, which is VA is the short acronym for virtual assistants, right? If you have hired individuals, right, and you have consistently paid them. This is not a thing where you hire somebody off of Fiverr, a freelancer, and you've only used them once and it was a one and done. No, this is a thing where you hire a freelancer from either Upwork or Fiverr, any one of those freelance websites, and you guys have an actual contract set up. You know what I mean? Or y'all have something set up where it is very consistent. You can, you know what I mean, count them as like an employee of some sort as well, as long as you have things put in place that shows that that individual is your employer, okay, or your employee, okay? You are the employer, all right? So your actual LLC has to have employees that been paid people. And then it says employees that pay qualified wages to some or all employees. You must have been, obviously this is during the pandemic, so you had to have been paying employees since March 12th of 2020 all the way up until before 2022, all right? Okay, so you have that timeline. So if you have been paying employees since March 12th of 2020 all the way up until January 1st of 2022, then you are eligible for this opportunity. If you have been paying employees since March 12th of 2020, all the way up until January 1st of 2022, you are eligible for up to $26,000 per employee that you gained on within that 2 years, no matter if they stuck with you or not. Understood? Okay. If you did not have employees from March 12th of 2020 up until January 1st of 2022, you do not qualify for this opportunity. Say it again. If you did not pay employees, which means you have an actual record of it, a pay log, you have some type of systems in place like Gusto, ADP, or even TurboTax to where you pay your employees. You have a payroll system. If you do not have a payroll system, and if you have not had employees from March 12th of 2020 until January 1st, 2022, you do not qualify for this opportunity. Do not run behind a CPA or your friend who is paying or who is doing your taxes just because you are in a financial situation right now and you need some money right now. Do not do that. Because guess what you're about to do? Put yourself in a whole nother situation where you will have to pay that money back. And if you don't have money now, and you're saying, oh, they're going to have to come get it, or whatever the case may be, guess what? They're coming to seize your assets. And whatever you think you're going to build in the near future, it will be a hold on that. This is the IRS we're talking about. So please, 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 my people, especially if you look just like me, do not file the ERC if you don't have some type of payroll to show or some type of paperwork that is approved by the IRS, right? And it's simple. It's simple paperwork. It's just showing that you've actually paid people. No, I'm not talking about Zelle. Nope. No, I'm not talking about Cash App. Nope, I'm professional. I'm talking about professional payroll systems like ADP, Gusto, TurboTax, and more. QuickBooks is even one. If you have a bank account that you have set up your ACH and your payroll, payroll systems up with your bank, and you pay, bank to bank like that, that is accepted. Okay? But you cannot do this with, oh, I had my homeboy or my cousin or somebody I knew from around the way, and I cut grass and they came and cut grass with me a couple days out the year or during the pandemic, and I paid them Cash App. So now I'm eligible for this $26,000 off of his face. No, that's not how this goes. Because you ain't really put in work for real. Because if you really had your business set up and structured correctly, yes, then you would have been able to take on this opportunity. But because you don't, and because you keep playing with yourself, you missing out on potentially $26,000 for one person. Understand where I'm coming from, y'all. And then I feel like a lot of us is so money hungry. We so ready to get some type of money or whatever the case may be. But y'all don't even know how to handle money for real. Let's really bring it to the table. Do not put yourself in a situation where you can, one, get scammed, or you are scamming the system. And now the system has to come and take everything that you own or you think you're going to own in the near future. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't set your kids up like that. I see some of y'all on Instagram like, oh, me, up under a lot of these scammers posts. Oh, me, I want to get, because you're so ready to get some money. You don't even know how to handle money for real, and it's unattractive. So if you were sitting right there thinking that this was going to be a video, I was going to tell you how to finesse the system, nah. And if that's the mindset that you have, that you want to try to finesse the system, exit right now. Because this video is only for individuals who are serious about structuring their business and truly creating generational wealth. Who is not just chasing after a dollar, but who is actually chasing after a purpose and a dream. That's who I'm for. Not scammers. And honestly, I've been noticing the people that say, oh, I got scammed, y'all really be the scammers too. We'll talk about that in another conversation. Let's get back down to it. So, eligibility highlights, all right? So it says general businesses and taxes and organizations that qualify are those that were shut down by the government due to COVID-19, which all of us had to go in-house, right? We had to stay in the house. And then experience the required decline in gross receipts during the eligibility periods during 2020 and the first 3 calendar quarters of 2021. Or qualify as a recovery startup business for the 3rd or 4th quarters of 2021. That literally is all small businesses. If you had an LLC and you had employees and you were affected by COVID-19, which you were, we had to go on to lockdown. You had to cut hours. Shoot, you was in the house. You couldn't make no money. Your business could not properly function. And you right now are in your recovery startup phases. You qualify, but you must have had an employee. All right. So it says eligible employers must have paid qualified wages to claim the credit. Okay. Qualified wages. All right. And then it says eligible employers can claim the ERC on an original or adjusted employment tax return for a period within those dates. Eligible employers can claim the ERC on an original or adjusted employment tax return for a period within those dates, which means even if you filed your business taxes and you had to amend your taxes, you still qualify for this opportunity because you can still show that you were affected. This means that even if you filed your taxes and unfortunately say you filed your 2020 taxes and you did not file your 2021 taxes, considering you were affected by COVID-19, say you are in the process of actually filing that taxes, or say you are in the process of actually amending those taxes to be able to show that at least 20% in decline. Because that's what it needs to be, 20%, 25%. I will go with 25%. Right? If you are in that process, you still qualify. All right. So let's move forward. Limitations. It says certain limitations apply to ERC. For example, employers can't claim the ERC on wages that were reported as payroll costs for PPP, the PPP loan forgiveness. It says qualified wages for purposes of the ERC do not include payroll costs in connection with the shuttered venue operators grants or restaurant revitalization grants. All right, so what they are talking about there in the limitations paragraph is that pretty much if you receive the PPP during a certain quarter or a certain amount of time or a certain year, then you will not qualify for you to be able to get that $26,000 per employee for that particular quarter or that year. It says if you receive the PPP, so a lot of us received the PPP only for 1 year. They didn't get the full 2 rounds of PPP. Okay. So if you've only got 1 round of PPP, this is great. All right. Don't feel any bad, because I remember at the time you probably felt some type of way. You probably felt like, dang, I could only get 1 draw. I couldn't even get 2. Or you probably applied for the second draw, and unfortunately you just was so happened to be one of the ones that was just left behind. Right. So if you are one of those individuals and you had employees that you were paying, I have to keep saying that, then you actually qualify for this opportunity. However, if you receive the years that you receive, or the quarters, remember that's 4, the quarters that you received the PPP, and you'll be able to know this by logging into your SBA PPP loan portal. And it will tell you, or you can go into those emails from when you received the funding and you had to, accept the documents and all that stuff. You can go into those emails and double check and see when you received it, for what quarters, right? And so if you received it for like that first draw, well, most likely you were like that first year, I want to say 2020. So you won't be able to get the ERC tax credit for 2020, but for 2021, you'll be able to get it. From 2021, January 1st, 2021, until 2020, January 1st, 2022. So you'll be able to get that ERC tax credit for that, okay? But you won't be able to get it because when you were using your PPP, or for when you apply for those quarters in that particular year for the PPP, right? You won't be able to get it. So if you did the first draw, but you did not get the second draw, okay, that's fine. During that time you were supposed to get a second draw, you can go ahead and get this ERC tax credit as long as you have employees and you can show proof that you were actually paying them through a qualified, payroll software. You'll be good to go. Okay. Now, how to claim it. Now, let's talk about how to get this. Eligible businesses that didn't claim the credit when they filed their original employee tax return can claim the credit by filing adjusted employee tax returns. Okay, so just amending it or updating your forms. It says, for example, businesses that qualify or businesses that file quarterly employee tax returns can file a Form 941X, which is the adjusted employer's quarterly federal tax return, or claim for a refund. All right, so If you file for the 941X to claim the ERC, you must reduce your deduction for wages by the amount of credit for the same tax period. Therefore, you may need to amend your income tax return. All right. So it literally just said what I just said. All right. When you are amending your tax returns, you need to make sure you're showing a decline in revenue. Right. That's how you're going to qualify for this opportunity. They have the forms and hyperlinks here. They don't go into any more details. For more information, see this section, questions and answers, timing of qualified wages, deductions, disallowance. They have more information here. Let's see if we go in there. Let's see what happens when we go in there. Claiming in ERC and accessing funds. It says an employer that is an eligible employer as defined in the section of the CARES Act after March 12th of 2020, before January 1st, 2021, pays qualified wages as defined in the section, is entitled to claim the ERC. All right. So in other words, I'm just reading through this, you guys, because this is the back office. This is the stuff that, a lot of people don't read to make sure that we're all copacetic. It says eligible employers subject to the railroad retirement tax are entitled to take an ERC credit against the taxes imposed on employers by section, and that's another code, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to bore you guys. I'm just trying to look and find something that is much more targeted towards you all who are watching this. So just going through that, I'm going to obviously I put the link down below, so I want you guys to definitely click on those hyperlinks that is on the IRS. But here's how you are actually going to, take action and get what you deserve as an employer. Now, you want to reach out to a certified public accountant, okay? Yes, it is going to cost you money because this is business taxes. This is not earned income taxes where you're actually looking for a receipt or some type of, not receipt, but refund, all right? This is not always the case. In business taxes, just be prepared to pay something, okay? So with that being said, you have to find you a trusted CPA who specializes in business taxes specifically, so that way you can make sure you will not have any issues in the future, like an audit where you have to pay back with interest, okay? So find you a CPA. Now, I have a CPA that I can recommend to you guys, all right? He is really good. He's been filing taxes for 10 plus years, okay, here in the South Florida area. If you have someone in your local area, then definitely go with a trusted CPA, all right? If you guys want to use my CPA, definitely text ERC to 305-686-0781. So that way my agents can send you my partner's number, okay? And that way you can call my CPA and you can ask them all the detailed questions and tell him exactly what you're going through as a business owner, a company owner, so he can clearly understand the reasons for why you are actually applying for it. And most likely he probably doesn't care, but he clearly understands the reasons for why you're applying for it. But mainly just to give him, just a small backstory, so that way he knows how to file this tax credit for you properly. Okay, so make sure you text the number down below. Now that you have came to the end of the video, you know about ERC, you know whether or not if you qualify. Do not do something don't do it. All right, don't do it. Don't do something that you don't apply for things that you don't qualify for. That is scamming. And if you don't want to get scammed, then you don't need to be scamming nobody. Okay, so now that you're stuck to the end of the video, I promise you guys I will give you a free grant list. Okay, now I'm always talking about grants on my YouTube channel. Obviously, if you are here, you already know. I also search and apply for grants for you. So instead of you all having to sit down and do whatever, try to figure out how to apply for these grants, I know that it can be a challenge, then you don't have to worry about taking all of the necessary time and question yourself whether or not you are applying for these opportunities correctly. Okay, so if you want someone to professionally apply for these free money opportunities outside of ERC, but free money opportunities, actual grants that really are in favor of you, right, that want to help you grow, then text #grants to my phone number 305-686-0781, and we can have a quick little consultation and I can tell you how we can get these grant opportunities for you. Okay, and then aside from that, One thing that I hope you guys definitely learn from this video is that having your business structured is very important. If you don't have your business structured or put together, right, then you will miss out on opportunities or financial opportunities in the future. Having your stuff together, man, aside from having an LLC, an EIN, and a website, aside from just having a business bank account, a lot of you all have business bank accounts and you don't know how to leverage it, and you haven't even really thoroughly went through the back office on, like, if I put money here, how will I be able to make money with my actual bank, right? A lot of the banks that you guys are getting with actually give out grant opportunities. So I offer a 45-minute business funding strategy call where we actually hop on a call, me and you tell me all of the funding opportunities that you've already executed: loans, lines of credit, grants, credit cards, and more. And I'll tell you all of the different strategies, execution strategies that you can actually take on right now to help your small business grow. I've already made my 6 figures for this year. I posted it on my Instagram. So I want you guys to be able to have this, this feeling and to live in financial freedom just like I am. All right. So click the link down below. My consultation link for the 45-minute call is down below. All right. Also, click the links down below if you are looking for that free grant list. All right. That free grant list is on my medium.com. I write articles about business and finances, everything like that. I'm like a big business finance nerd. So I write articles. So the link is down below. So that way you guys can go ahead and start applying for opportunities yourself. Make sure you have a business plan, all right? And if you don't got one, you already know what to do. Hit me up because we write business plans. I'm just like literally your one-stop shop, okay? I'm like your everything, okay? I'm your everything. And I don't really like the term business bestie, but I'm the business bestie, okay? So make sure you click the links down below. Share this video to someone who needs clarity and understanding on ERC and which direction they should take, whether it's just going with ERC or just taking on new opportunities like grants, loans, lines of credit, and credit cards, okay? And yeah, thank you so much for sticking to the end of the video. I love you guys. Go out and have an amazing business week. Peace, love, light, and blessings to you all. Peace.